What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? All right, guys. We are 24 subscribers away from 400 subs. I need y'all new people to subscribe and support the journey, all right? All right, let me get into this story for you guys. Now, I have many stories for you guys. I have many stories. I've hesitated to post them just because I'm not comfortable doing so. But I will give you guys this story, all right? So this is the infamous Black and Miles story that happened in my life, all right? So let's get started. Basically, me and two other friends, we ended up being in a situation together. We were involved in a situation. I won't speak on the situation, but I will speak on us getting pulled over. Basically, you know, after the situation, we all got in my car and we ended up driving. Now, somewhere down the line, the police ended up pulling us over. And when they pulled us over, I had things in the car that could get me in trouble. So basically, the cops pull us over. I'm trying to figure out how I could finesse my way out of this situation, because I knew what I had in the car, but I didn't want to, who wants to get in trouble, right? So I started thinking of a game plan to get myself out of this situation. Me and two of my friends. So the police pull us over. It's in like a parking lot setting, because when they originally flashed their lights, I slowed down, put my blinkers on, and pulled into the nearest parking lot so that they could just handle the situation in the parking lot and not in the middle of the road. And when I get in the parking lot, you know, I park my car, and I'm thinking of all the ways I could finesse myself out of this situation. And basically, stay tuned to the end, guys. I started, basically, I'm gonna tell you this. The car was smelling like weed. The car was smelling like weed. So in that event, I said, okay, I don't care what the cop is pulling us over for. I knew what they were pulling us over for, but I don't really care about that. But the main thing I'm worried about is the cops cannot smell the weed in the car, or else he's gonna want to search the car. Like I said, I got stuff in the car that's illegal. So car is reeking like weed. And I said, okay, I started kind of pacing, like looking around, seeing if I got some type of spray I could spray real quick to mask the smell of the weed. And I didn't have any spray. I didn't have no blunt spray, no Ozium, nothing. But what I did have, that I put two and two, I eventually started forming this game plan in the moment, was I had a Black and Mild in the car. I always keep a Black and Mild in the car. I always used to keep a Black and Mild in the car. I don't smoke Black and Milds now, but I used to back then. Every once in a blue moon, I used to smoke Black and Milds, like, you know, every once in a blue moon. So, but even though I didn't smoke Black and Milds every day, I always kept one in the car. So I said, okay, I started thinking of a game plan quick as to how I'm gonna get myself out of this situation. So I talked to my friends and I go, okay, this is what we're gonna do. All of this was in the span of like seconds, because we have to quickly come up with a plan, because we cannot have these cops get to the window, I open the door or I roll down the window, and they start claiming they smell weed. We can't have that. So what I thought about real quick was, take the Black and Mild. This is just what I was thinking. Take the Black and Mild, light it up in the car with all the windows up, and just start hotboxing the car, start blowing the smoke, the black and mild smoke in the car, so that the car will be filled with black and mild smoke. And then when I roll the window down, all the black and mild smoke is gonna go in the cop's face, and he won't be able to smell the weed because all he smells is the black and mild. So that's exactly what I did. I said, okay, I said to my partner, I was like, yo, I'm gonna light this black and mild, and I'm gonna just start blowing it. Is everything gonna be all good? Just don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. You have a right to remain silent. I started reminding them of certain things. They were like, okay, cool. Sounds like a plan. So I start doing it. I light the thing. I'm blowing it. Cops walking up to the car. The cop is walking up to the car. By the time he gets to the car, the whole inside of my car is smoked out with the black and mild. So I'm like, oh yeah, this finna be a breeze. This like Haha David said, yeah, this finna be a breeze. So I'm like, yeah, he ain't gonna smell no weed. I'm about to blow the black and mild. So basically, then all of a sudden I rolled the windows down. I rolled the window down, my window right here. I rolled it down. All the smoke kind of blows in the cop's face. And in addition to that, I blew like an extra round of smoke into his face. So hopefully he will not suspect that there's weed in the car. So I'll tell you what happened next. I roll down the window, smoke goes in his face, and immediately he looks me dead in my face with a straight face, and he says, I smell weed. By then I knew it was over with. To make the long story short. Now, so once he said that, you know, I forgot basically what we were saying, but pretty much, you know, I'm not consenting to a search. I'm not gonna admit that there's weed in the car, even though I know there's a lot of weed in the car. I'm not gonna admit it. So we going back and forth with the police, They separate me and my friends. So remember, I told you it's 3 of us. It's me and 2 other friends. They set by then, like 2 more cop cars pull into the parking lot to assist this one officer, right? All three of the officers, I think there were more police, you know, with them. So like a total like 6 or 7 cops. At this point, I'm like, I'm worrying because I know I'm hit. Like, I'm in college at this time. This was during the summer, like when we're off, and I was back home in my hometown. So this wasn't, you know, even though I was in college, this wasn't in my college town. This was in my hometown, right? And when they separated us, I can't speak for the conversations that the cops had with them, but the cops that were speaking to me, it's like they legally needed my consent to search the car, even though they already said they smell weed. So they asked me all these questions. What do you got in the car? It smells like weed. Do you have any weed in the car? The whole entire interaction, after a certain point of talking to them, basically I stopped answering any questions because I have a right to remain silent. I told them that. I was like, I'm not gonna say anything else, but one thing that I will say, I'm not consenting to a search, and I'm not gonna go along with saying that there's weed. I'm just, no. So work with that what you will. Basically what I told the police. So I further told him, I was like, and I haven't given you consent to search my car, so basically you can't search my car, right? He was like, well, no, we already, basically we don't need consent to search the car because we're claiming to you we smell weed. That is our probable cause to search the car. I'm like, whatever. At that point, I couldn't stop them from searching the car, so they searched the car. And to wrap the story up, they found my weed and my firearm, and we all get arrested because we're still exercising our right to remain silent. So to wrap the story up, there's a whole backstory to the situation leading up to us getting pulled over, because we were involved in we were involved in a situation that day leading up to us getting pulled over. Like I told you, there was a reason that we got pulled over, which I'm not gonna speak on, but just get the point in this video. So to this day, I don't see eye to eye with those previous friends about the whole situation that happened before us getting pulled over. We don't see eye to eye on that situation. And long story short, we get caught, we go to the police station. Even at the police station, they put us in different cells, within the holding. And, they're doing everything they could to get us to snitch and whatever. And like I said, there's a lot of reasons that I disagree with these people about the events leading up to us getting pulled over. And for that reason, we don't speak no more. To this day, we don't speak no more. And you know what? But one thing I will say, that even though I don't see eye to eye with these people, and it was years ago, it was over 8 years ago, we still to this day don't speak, whatever. I don't think we have an issue with each other. Like, we don't have an issue with each other, but we don't see eye to eye about that one situation, so we kind of just parted ways. But even though I disagreed with them on the events leading up to it, here is the one thing that I will give them credit for. The one thing I will give them credit for, after all I disagreed with them about, from the events to the case to everything. The one thing I will give these guys is they never told. And our public defenders handled the case for us, got it dismissed. All of us got off. I have 0 felonies to this day because they didn't tell. Because I feel as though the whole no snitching thing that's for another video. But let's hypothetically saying, if they would have told on me, then all the charges would have been on me and not them. They would have gotten off, and I damn near would have had to fight these charges by myself. But they didn't say nothing. They never told. And I think that's the reason why we made them do their job and try to figure it out. And because it ended up, we were fighting the case for like 3 years, it's like our lawyers, each of our lawyers were able to break it down to the smallest molecule and get it thrown out for us. We all, now one of my friends, one of my friends that was with me, out of the 3 of us, he's in prison he's in prison as we speak for an unrelated situation from ours. Like, he's locked up right now for something that has nothing to do with our case. But that's the one thing I'll give them, is they never told. Maybe one day they'll end up seeing this video. But yeah, basically, I ended up graduating college. I have 0 felonies to this day, and it's even the reason why I have like the good job that I do today, is because they never told. Like, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But thank you for tuning in. I will see y'all in the next video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.